Jill,
Yes.
here you go.
What I leave? That's not mine.
It's not?
That is not mine.
Well, I just thought because you're a woman.
I understand. It's definitely not mine. I left it where it was. I didn't even touch it.
Let me spray it.
32. Wait. They got 32 right now in the third quarter?
It's over.
Aw.
It's over.
I don't know. Like, I'm excited to see this.
I am part of the resistance. Let's fight the power. Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Baby, LA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Hey, so I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I go where I go.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story. So she's driving me insane, touch goes heavy on my brain. She keeps playing me games, and I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light. See the light.
What up, everybody? Come on in here. Hit the like button.
Saw that Questlove comment on one of your clips. You like playing blues yesterday, or was that like a coincidence?
What up?
You keep saying you've got standards. Cool. So does every gated community that's really just trying to keep people out while pretending it's about exclusivity. You know, it's possible yours aren't standards, but just booby traps with a velvet rope. You build emotional walls, call them boundaries, then get mad when nobody scales them wearing a love language and holding a therapist's resume. That's not discernment. That's defense. And defense doesn't foster intimacy. It auditions people for their ability to not hurt you like the last one did. Bowlby wasn't joking when he said avoidant folks see emotional needs as threats. You're not being noble. You're being scared. And scared makes rules, not relationships. Walls often look like standards when you're still bleeding from a betrayal you never grieved. But they keep connection out just as effectively as they kept pain out, until loneliness starts to feel like self-respect. And yeah, some people really don't deserve access to you. But if everyone fails the test, maybe it's the test that's broken. Or maybe you're still grading love like it's a final exam in damage control. You're not too much. You're just tired of begging to be seen. And now you're daring someone to guess what's underneath the armor without getting cut.
Hey, man. Dog Man. The little cartoon dog that be talking. Whew. Fire. Have you ever experienced a one-sided relationship? Have you ever been in one? Have you ever created one in order to make yourself feel safe? Heavy topic tonight. You're listening to The Voice of Reason. I'm Zoe Williams, live on KBLA Talk 1580. You already know what it is. I've got to keep the pedal to the metal with regards to these topics. Let me just say this. This is my second KBLA show today. I had the pleasure of sitting in with Tavis Smiley for an hour today with my homeboy Ray Grady, the alpha male of comedy. And we promoted our event that's happening this Saturday, May 31st. I need you to go get those tickets right now. TheMiracleInglewood.com is the website. TheMiracleInglewood.com. Go purchase your tickets now. I can't even tell you how incredible of a show this is going to be. Clinicians versus comedians. Who has the best relationship advice and insight? It's going to be amazing. You're going to laugh. You're going to cry. You're going to think. You're going to ruminate, but you're also probably going to urinate. I'm sorry. It's going to be that funny. So please show up. Get your tickets right now. TheMiracleInglewood.com. Now, back to the topic. You know, we use clips, right, to kind of alley-oop the topic. This is the Voice of Reason. It is a national discussion. People call in from all over the country to share their thoughts and maybe their disdain, maybe their sense of enlightenment, maybe they learned something, but they call in and share their perspectives every day, all day in America. They're calling in. National discussion, the Voice of Reason. Tonight's topic, bi-directional standards. I think standards should be bi-directional, meaning if I have a standard for you, it should be a standard that I've applied to myself, and it should go both ways. The standard I have for you also applies to me. Sounds simple enough, right? But I think it's a little bit harder to execute, especially when most folks are operating from behind a persona, i.e., their mask. Bidirectional standards, a deeper exploration of the duality of expectations and standards. When you have standards and expectations for others that don't apply to yourself. And I know you've been in relationships before where you've been called out on it. Wait, you got this standard for me, right? But I see you can do it. And the moment they do it, they already have a neatly manicured excuse or reason or intellectualization for why they can do it, but you cannot. On the modern dating scene, the quest for authenticity is a big deal, right? Often we run into the challenge of bidirectional standards, right? Which is challenging the hypocrisy of imposing perfection on partners while neglecting inner accountability. You got all these rules for me, but none of them apply to you. On tonight's episode of The Voice of Reason, we're going to try to probe into how unresolved trauma, cognitive dissonance, and cultural narratives fuel unilateral expectations that mirror our internal deficits. We're going to be drawing on insights from clinical psychology, metaphysical inquiry, and empirical research, including attachment theory and trauma bonding studies. This perspective, hopefully, will reveal that demanding qualities you yourself have yet to cultivate creates a cycle of relational imbalance. I think a lot of people want relational imbalance. The power has to be in a particular person's hands for the most part. And remember, you know what the rule is. It's some but all, some but not all, but I would say the majority, right? We will be integrating ancient spiritual wisdom with modern science. This framework advocates a radical shift, fostering mutual growth through self reflection and honest vulnerability. Many people struggle with self reflection and honest vulnerability. Ultimately, we're trying to rebalance standards between self and partners. That's what we're trying to do, right? We're trying to get you to see that it is not only transformative, but essential for evolving authentic, organically reciprocal human connections. Not forced reciprocity, not transactional reciprocity, but organic reciprocity. The paradox of projection. Demanding what you lack. And I would change that. Demanding, right, what you have yet to cultivate. Why would you demand love from your partner when you yourself haven't cultivated authentic, true, real, infinite, eternal love of self? Your philosophical insight, examining how existential responsibility reveals that projecting unachieved ideas onto others reflects our own inner void. I need you to be everything that I have yet to become, right? Unpacking cognitive dissonance and defense mechanisms that force us to externalize our self-doubt. Is your relationship unbalanced? And if it is, why? Why do they have to show up in ways that you refuse to? Not only for them, but for yourself. Now, it's easy to run to the hot button word of the day, oh, just because they're a narcissist. Well, they might not be. They might just be wounded, and expectations are an extension of their standards. They're weaponizing them, right? Expectations, standards are weaponized as defense mechanisms to keep people at bay. And the only way that they can get in, the key to getting in, is to capitulate to the expectation and the standard. However, the caveat is they won't be doing the same for you. Evaluating attachment theory, which is what we do here quite a bit, and trauma bonding research that shows such projections stem from unhealed wounds. Understanding that the energy we project onto others is a mirror of our own unintegrated spiritual essence. Last night, something quite profound came out, and that was true marriage is tantamount to individuation. Individuation, we should make it just as tired as the word narcissist or trauma or PTSD. Everybody's using these psychological terms. Well, let's start using individuation, because individuation is the process of a person making themselves whole. That's what Carl Jung meant when he put it together, right? When he developed the concept. Let's drag this word out and make it tired like all the other psychological buzzwords, right? Individuation. What if the real marriage is individuation, right? Making yourself whole before you try to join with someone else. When you're broken, expectations lead your relationship formation. Your expectations. You guys are seeing if the expectations are compatible. Are you okay with blah, blah, blah? Well, I would be if I could get blah, blah, blah. You guys are matching, you guys are chaperones to wounds. Matching up the compatibility of wounds, not the compatibility of souls, but the compatibility of wounds. How so, Zo? It's quite simple. Everybody is talking about another buzzword. You know what the buzzword is? Needs. Well, you have to make sure you show up for my needs. And you have to make sure you show up for mine. No one is really courageous enough to show up for their own wounds. Can you imagine being deeply in love with someone? And I mean seeing them for who they are, accepting them for who they are, embracing every aspect of themselves and yourself without one expectation of them. Last week, I played a clip. Krishnamurti said, I love you, but I don't want a thing. Don't you know the very foundation of Western relationships are built on satiating wants? And oftentimes, that is an imbalanced exchange. Well, if you give me what I want, and if you deliver unto me what I need, then you are suitable to be in my life. We don't know how to love without wanting something, which means we're in a perpetual state of scarcity. Listen to what I'm saying. I know it's counterintuitive to how you were conditioned, to how you were raised, to what you were brought up, right? To think this is different. Cognitive dissonance unmasks the illusion of unilateral accountability. You cannot ask your partner to deliver something unto you that you have refused to give to yourself. I know it's difficult. And I'm going to say this topic again because I want you to understand bidirectional standards, a deeper exploration of the duality of expectations and standards. When you have standards and expectations for others, but not for yourself, why is it that you think you have the authority and the agency to demand and expect that someone shows up in the way that you need them to, but you have yet to do that for yourself? You have unidirectional standards. Show up the way my wounds need you to, and I will grant you permission to date me, to marry me, to court me, to do whatever. Spiritual spiritual hypocrisy. You're absolutely right, Nzinga. When we come forward, the voice of reason is going to continue to unpack this powerful, powerful topic. Are you in a one-sided relationship? Talk to me.
Got you confused? Need some straight talk? This is where you get the unfiltered truth about love, relationships, and everything in between. He breaks down relationships.
What up, y'all?
With no-nonsense wisdom and practical advice.
Can I get everybody to hit that like button?
The questions you're afraid to ask.
What up?
Giving you the answers you need to hear. You're inside the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA.
I want to talk to everybody. Everybody tell me, what city are we from? What city are we in? And call in. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? What up, Mac? Atlanta, what up, what up, what up?
On Wednesday, June 18th, we go live on C-SPAN for the second consecutive year with our climate justice.
Hey, Attila, that should be said on the air. Oakland to the town. Oakland to the A. Ohio in the building. Jacksonville, Florida. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Peace, Pastor John. You already know that's Cali Soul. King Joseph, South Central LA in the house. Whoop. Denver in the house. Whoop.
There are two big events you're invited to attend.
Hey, don't sham. Don't sham on those likes. Everybody, please hit the like button.
Partnership with the Empowerment Congress for a community celebration and dialogue to educate, engage, and empower. This year's theme is resilience in the face of chaos.
Please.
Y'all ain't ready for this.
And new this year is our State of Black Women in Los Angeles Symposium, moderated by Dominique DePrima, with the luncheon to follow. Dominique will be leading a dialogue with some of the most
My peoples.
Black women leaders in
We
Los
need 10
Angeles.
people to hit the like button.
Join. All of these events are free, but seating is limited.
South LA all day. Brenda Hearn. What up, Brenda?
.com website where you can find all the details you need about each event. Check it out. It's our 4th anniversary and we would love to celebrate it with you.
So I guess I can say it now because Tavis Smiley announced it on the air today. Today was a good day.
Happy anniversary, KBLA.
Who saw Tavis's show today with me and Grady on it?
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we
Who saw that?
are safe. Every girl deserves a chance to shine. That's the
Thank you, sir. Who saw that? Tapped in. Did you see what Tavis Smiley announced? In Zynga, did you see what Tavis Smiley announced today? John Gilbreth, did you see what he announced today? What did he announce? Do you guys know? Can y'all share? Please hit the like button. Let's go, likes. We got 13 people in here who haven't liked the video. Please like the video. Syndication. What? The Voice of Reason is in the process of national syndication. Tavis was telling me that he believes my show is going to be even bigger than his. Tavis is currently in 40 markets. They're looking to put me in over 100 markets. It's happening now.
Turned into arguing in the comments. I had the option to look at me and say, "Hey, dog, how you keep ending up with them? That's beautiful. Why you keep entertaining these women that don't give a fuck about you for real, for real? Why you riding with women who wouldn't fuck with you when you ain't got no bag? Like that's a you problem. Why? Because you got the baddie? Why? Because other to say she valid? You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, as men, genuinely, bro, raise your standards. Stop arguing with women in the comments. Stop ganging up with other to beat up on women that don't fit your preferences, bro. Just raise your bar. Now, a lot of fellas are not going to agree with this one. But he's right. We got to raise our bar. And as a content creator, I see a lot of men in the comments complaining about the women they deal with. And don't get me wrong, I've dealt with my fair share of them as well. But like he said, we all have a choice. A lot of us guys will take a lot of crap from these women because they look beautiful or because they meet your preferences as far as looks. But when in the other categories, she doesn't meet any of your qualifications. Like,
Hey, stop being in a one-sided relationship, both men and women. How about that? Early in American history, there were 13 colonies. And before the establishment of a national bank, which caused great debate, there was vociferous and fervent debate against the establishment of a national bank. And the reason why that was done is because it was believed that by establishing a national bank, you would somehow be disrespecting the Constitution. Why? Because the Constitution didn't expressly say that the government had the authority or the power to create a bank, right? The original government before the Constitution, under the Articles of Confederation, right, didn't have the power to tax, really didn't have any power at all. It was purposely made weak. What does this have to do with tonight's topic, Zoe? Well, before the establishment of a national bank and national currency, all the states had different currency, right? Different currencies for the different colonies. Now, currency in one colony is good in that colony, but it may not be good in the next colony. In other words, the currency internally is good for spending. The external currency isn't worth so much, using that analogy. Now, spiritually speaking, when you're a chaser and a groper and a groveler, and you're in a one-sided relationship, and you're trying to do everything that you can do to get them to reciprocate what you've been doing, that's you valuing a currency outside of your jurisdiction that isn't worth more than your internal currency. Do you hear what I'm saying? Are you listening? A bird with one wing can't fly. Same with the relationship. You need two wings flapping. It has to be aligned, right? Many of us are misaligned with regards to self-knowledge and who we are and what we really want and why we're there, and unhealed, unrequited wounds are making the decisions on who we decide to date. It's our ego who takes credit for it, but the wound is behind the ego saying, pick that one. We've got some unfinished business. Are you hearing me? Right? Again, the true currency comes from within. We've overpowered and aggrandized this external currency. The inescapable dissonance when expectations serve as a defense mechanism. Probing the irony that externalized standards often defend against self-acknowledgement and authentic vulnerability. Just because you got all of these rules and you think they're going to follow them to the T, you're still unsafe because you're not safe with you. When I come forward, I'm going to the phone lines. It's going to get even crazier. Let's get it. What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? All love from, no doubt. No doubt. Cut the cap. Welcome in. And somebody just dropped a 5 spot on the super chat. Let me just say thank you, just showing love. Mac, thank you, fam. Thank you, fam. You guys could do it too. You can go to my Cash App. You know, we've been hella light this week, but hey, it's cool. You can go to my Cash App, show a little love. Go to my super chat. The super chat is the $ down at the bottom. We ask for twos and fews. The minimum amount, you can send it right here to support the channel. The $ at the bottom will support the channel. Or if you want to get it to me ASAP, you can go to my Cash App, $ Zoe What Netter. I've been chatting with a guy for a bit. He asked me out. I said I'm not ready yet. perhaps that was too hasty. I think I should really focus on myself more. This topic is fire. I'm glad you found some value in it for sure. Everybody, we're a little slow on the likes. We like to get the amount of people, the amount of likes to match the amount of people. Can I get you guys to hit that like button? The like button is free, absolutely free. So please. And y'all saw the young lion today. Who saw the post I put up of the young lion? Who saw the post about the young lion? Just ensure my like by hitting it twice. Thank you, John. I put up a post about the young lion. Whoever is following me on Instagram, go take a look maybe. I think I sent you a text message. Is this tryout for the Lakers? Purple and gold?
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need
Yeah.
across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for
I think I sent it to everybody. It's literally posted on my.
Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness.
RZA and I just did something a couple of weeks ago. You not keeping up with the show, bro. RZA and I did something a couple of weeks ago. Just call right now, Mac. Mac, now's the time to call because the engineer is in the studio. You got to keep up. Cut the cap. No disrespect.
Featuring
He right there.
KBLA's Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, and the alpha male of comedy, Ray Grady. We're going to transform relationship disasters into stand-up material live at Inglewood's Miracle Theater on May 31st at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. My clinical team will disclose all of your dating woes, while the alpha male of comedy, Ray Grady, has hand-selected supremely talented comedians to roast all of our tragic relationship choices. I dare you to bring your ex's phone number because Ray, he's going to text it live, and the crowd will be sourcing it.
Oh, he got that for me for my birthday.
Swiftly, so don't hesitate.
The season in Turkey, he put it in a case, a frame.
I diagnose your dating history as a pre-existing
The overseas
condition.
jersey. I asked him about that. He said that he doesn't know if they have a merch website. He said, but he would check and get back to me. Mac, call.
I think sometimes when you are dealing with list type things like this, like coming up with a set of non-negotiable values, people tend to overdo it. They tend to come up with the pros and cons list. We've always heard those stories of the men or women who have a list that is 50 items long that the correct person that they need to date or marry has to check every one of those lists. That is not the same thing as a non-negotiable value. A non-negotiable value usually is only 2 or 3 specific things that you know for a fact that you will not be able to overcome.
Here we go. The voice of reason, KBLA Talk 1580. Here we go. One-sided means self-interested, self-centered. That is antithetical to relating. Relationship is about two. The number 2 itself, if you study numerology, represents union, represents relationship, 2, right? A one-sided relation. How are you? It's oxymoronic, right? Here are a couple of signs that you're in a one-sided relationship, and some of this stuff I disagree with. Lack of feeling secure in the relationship. Is that from you or is that from them? Is it their responsibility to make you feel secure? I'm not saying they should be threatening, but if there are things within you that you have to address and have not addressed, is it their responsibility to make you feel secure? That's something we can unpack. But if you're in a long-term relationship and that person has never made you feel welcomed, right, then you may have an issue. You might be in a one-sided relationship. What about second guessing, right, a partner's motives? Why are you doing that? What type of response are you trying to elicit from me by doing that? Feeling like you're lacking. Well, let's unpack that, because again, that's a bidirectional thought. It's not solely on the person you're with. Sometimes you might be feeling like you're lacking something, not because of what your partner did or didn't do, but it could be because of something you refuse to provide for yourself. Do you understand? So feeling like you're lacking, yes, in one sense, it can come from your partner to make you feel like you're not enough, to make you feel like you're unworthy. But at the same time, it could be you playing out a generational pattern, a generational curse where you were raised in an environment that made you feel less than. You might have walked into this relationship with a worthiness wound. Right? Very interesting. Feeling empty after interactions. Now, this is a good one. You know why? This is a good one. Feeling empty after interactions. Do you know what that calls me to? Performance. Not everybody is Denzel Washington. Not everybody is Lawrence Fishburne. Not everybody can become a character and immerse themselves so deeply into the character that you forget that's an actor. You think that's a real person, right? Oftentimes in performative relationships, when you're dealing with relationship thespians, right? Relationship actors, what tends to happen is they will perform certain things because they know in the performance of whatever it is, take you to dinner, pull the chair out, open the door, whatever it is, right? Most people are so focused on the behavior, they don't connect to the energy behind the behavior. This is why I always tell women, yes, actions speak louder than words, but intentions speak louder than behaviors, and a woman's intuition is always locked into a man's intention. So he might be doing what you want, but if you keep a close eye on your intuitive process while he's doing what you want, you can feel, you can sense the genuineness behind his action. He's not just doing it because he knows she likes this and this could lead to me scoring. I'm going to tell you right now, ladies, men's most effective style of communication is behavior. We really don't want to talk because if we talk, we have to articulate our feelings. And, we're really sloppy with feelings for the most part. Do you understand? Talking about them and sharing them and expressing them. I'd rather do something to show you. That's our most effective form of communication, is doing. And many of us have learned to be performers because we know you value doing over what I say, for the most part. Oh my goodness. So feeling empty after interactions, I can see that one very clearly. If somebody is performative, that feeling or that intuitive process might be the red flag, the pink flag, whatever color flag you need, right? That might be the flag that you should pay attention to, okay? Then they say one person does all the work in the relationship. Well, let's break that down. What is work? Does that mean paying for everything? Does that mean cleaning everything? Does that mean initiating everything? I'm going to tell you, whoever came up with this is probably a narcissist, right? One person does all the work. Okay, could be true, right? Could be. I'm not saying it's 100% wrong, could be true. But what if you have a person who's sitting back evaluating all of the work that is done and deeming it not good enough for their liking, for their taste? Would anybody call that person a narcissist? Do you see? Very interesting. One person does all the work. And yes, there are relationships that are one-sided in this way, right? Yes, there are. Fear of upsetting a partner or causing conflict. Does that mean you're in a one-sided relationship, or does that mean you are the architect of a one-sided relationship? Because if you have a fear of upsetting your partner, that's you doing that to you, right? I'm fearful of conflict. At some point, you have to get the courage, the internal fortitude to be able to have difficult conversations. So you see, I could go both ways. Maybe there's a fear, maybe from childhood conditioned. There's a fear to engage in difficult conversations because you might have a fear of abandonment, right? You don't want to upset this person by bringing the truth as you see it to them for clarification. You lack the courage to have difficult conversations. Is that more about them or is that more about you? Now, this is clear. Making excuses for a partner, right? Well, it can be murky. This goes back to the statement before. Are you trying to hold on to somebody just to have somebody? Are they worth the effort you're putting into holding on? You worry about when you will see them again. I don't know if that's a one-sided relationship. I can see if you put it on a spectrum, it could be seen that way on the far end where there's this anxious, maybe you're anxious, preoccupied, and it's like, oh, I haven't seen you all day. I've been missing you all day. Maybe some of that is there, right? Lack of personal growth. Somebody just threw that in, right? Somebody just threw that in. All relationships require personal growth, right? Settling for bursts of connections, but craving more. Now, this is what they call breadcrumbing. When people give you this intermittent reinforcement every now and again, I'm going to acknowledge, I'm going to show up, I'm going to give you what you want, then I'm going to pull it back. That's definitely a malicious, manipulative tool, right? But let me just say this. I want to know if you've been in a one-sided relationship and you felt like the person breadcrumbed you, you felt like the person didn't give you everything you needed. And I'm going to ask, why did you need it in the first place? We got callers on the line. I'm going to come forward. But when we come full circle, I want to hear from the callers and I want to hear their thoughts about tonight's topic. We're going to get to it right now. Small leaks are normally indicative of a larger problem, so I'll say it matters more today. John Gilbreth, yes. Hey, and who was goofy that was in my chat talking about what OG yapping about? Cosmic Encore. Goof. And no, y'all ain't got to, listen, y'all ain't got to block them. I like fucking with people. I'm doing too much talking. You're not doing enough talking. Keep talking. Cosmic Encore. Oh, he gone. Damn. It's my time. It's Gemini time. I'm with the smoke. Leave us. How you gonna come into a YouTube channel and say somebody talking too much? Oh, he like the picture shows. The range is hot. Don't let Oz out. Hey, Gemini season is Oz season. Hey, Gemini season is Oz season for sure. Get him a coloring book. The season of Oz. People are nuts. Hey, only 6 people haven't hit the like button. Can I get those likes? Can I get those likes? Let Oz live. The Oz is here is hilarious. Will I go to the kitchen when is come out? Anybody want a cold drink? When Oz come out? Come on, trolls, like to scream. That's mean. Water over here.
conversation with this man today, and he was saying how the women who look amazing and have great bodies, they don't want to settle for men who are making like 50K. He was like complaining about that. So my response was, okay, well, have you considered like not pursuing those type of women if you don't fit the bracket that they're looking for? Because I'm sure there are some great women who fall outside that criteria. And his response was, yeah, well, people like what they like, right? And I thought this was interesting because it kind of mirrors what we hear about women nowadays. We're always told to adjust our standards. They're unrealistic. Everybody's competing for the same type of people. We all complain about double standards, but we only complain about double standards when we're not benefiting from them. So everybody's a hypocrite, honestly. Argue with your mama.
Oh, oh, everybody's a hypocrite. Argue with your mama. Just because your body beautiful, that doesn't necessarily mean that your soul is. Let me tell you something. Big Mama used to say it all the time. Keep living. That was her way of saying, you're going to learn. What you don't understand today, keep living. You might understand it tomorrow. Keep living. See, let me just say, you think just because you have an aesthetic, a beautiful aesthetic, that you can leverage that to get something out of another. And it's true for the most part. A lot of people will bend the knee. They will capitulate and say, well, she's fine, or well, he's attractive, right? I had somebody tell me that recently. They said, because you're attractive, you think, I know the dating market is a mess, King Joseph. He's telling me this. Right? But back to the point. She said, because you're attractive, you think, or you expect, this is how she said it. She said, you expect women to just do whatever because you're attractive and you've got things going on or whatever. You think they're just supposed to do what you want them to do. And I was like, no. She was like, yeah. Like, she said, it's operating in an unconscious way for you. But at the same time, let me just say, I need a beautiful soul, not just a beautiful face or a beautiful body. I need somebody who has been in the lab, in the gym, working on their spirit, trying to get some self wins. Because what I know is the more unhealed you are, listen to what I'm saying here, the more unhealed you are, the more expectations you have of others. Somebody go meme it. I want to see that on Instagram. Is it true or false? The more unhealed you are, chances are you have more expectations of others. The more healed you are, the chances of you asking from demanding, I need this, I don't think you demand as much when you're healed or when you start the healing process. I don't think you ask for as much or you expect as much because a lot of things are pouring out of you through the cultivation of self-love within you. Self-acceptance. Again, integration. Back to the original point at the beginning of the show. Integration is the real nuptial. It's the real covenant of marriage. An unintegrated soul is a broken soul looking for a matching broken piece. Jeez. Let's get the callers online. Attila, Houston, Texas. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic? What up, niece? What is the word, child? Talk to me.
So, listen. Okay, so I made a comment earlier. I want to do two things. I'm going to address this comment, and then I want to go back to the video you just played. I think her name is Tynesha. But anyway, I made a comment in a chat where I said, could you argue that when someone refuses to meet your needs or at least won't show up for you, that it's an opportunity to show up for yourself instead?
How about
and
it?
The reason why I said that is because when I think about, like, times where I was in relationships where, you know, I was upset that a person wouldn't meet me where I was, or where I felt they should meet me, or if I felt like they weren't meeting my needs. In reality, number one, I think we confuse needs and wants, because really it's what I wanted. It wasn't what I needed. But then number two, the time that I wasted with them was the time that I should have been working on myself. And the thing is, you end up having to do the work anyway. It's either you decide to leave the situation and go on and do what you need to do, or you get forced out of it. And I think a lot of times that's why we need pain to show us different, because we think that as long as we are in like a subtle type of pain where it's not that obvious, that we can make it through it. That somehow, if we just love them enough, it's not gonna work like that. Like, you have to make the decision to choose yourself sometimes, and that's just the reality of the situation.
Wow, that's so big. That's so big what you just said. If we would just love them enough. You can't weaponize love as a giving. The moment you recontextualize love as a form of giving, you make it transactional. It becomes addictive. It becomes a tool for codependence. Love is more of a resonance than a giving.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
And the way we're conditioned is, if I love them more, listen to what is not spoken behind that. If I love them more, maybe I'll get what I want ultimately, right?
Exactly.
So are you giving from a space of resonance, or are you giving from a space of ultimately I want to receive this back?
Right, right. And I'll make this too. I'll make this caveat, having played the anxious side and the avoidant side in relationships. You know, you may start out genuine in terms of like the anxious side when you're given. You might in the beginning be really genuine about what you're doing. But I think with the anxious side, what they don't really calculate or understand is that just like you've seen that they have some issues or maybe some areas in their life that they need to work on, and you want to give to that, they see that you have issues and areas in your life. The only difference is they're not going to give to you for you to work it out.
Wow. Wow.
You're both seeing each other very clearly. But what you're not understanding is just because you see them doesn't mean you see yourself clearly.
Woo.
So until you actually have that self-awareness, you're going to continue giving to a broken pot. So
Wait, stay right there. Don't go nowhere, because you're cooking. When we come forward, we're going back to Houston, Texas. The stove, the range, the grill, it's all on fire. Come on, Attila. So have you guys noticed the reason why I spray down the headphones with Lysol? I remember years ago I was in the studio with this artist. His name was Dirty Rat. Dirty Rat. Dirty Rat. I mean, Dirty Rat was like 6'4", 500, about 500 pounds. He not that big no more. He done had all kind of surgeries or whatever. Dirty Rat went to the studio. He was rhyming. He was a dope MC. This is back in the 90s. He put the headphones on, and I guess the headphones was so nasty that it like infected his ear, and his ear grew to the size of a fucking baby watermelon. It was nasty and pussy and bloody. I was like, what the fuck? All because he put those cans on. And ever since then, no matter what studio I'm in, I'll be wiping them down, spraying them down. Because I don't know what kind of ear demons somebody had, but it was a real ear demon. It is. Okay, what the hell? Attila, you just remember your point. Because I'm coming right to you.
Relationship is in trouble, I'm giving you the call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the child wasn't here, and you still had to pay child support?
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I was like, is this something wrong with
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed to a bad routine. How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my nip.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man moves on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses. Yeah.
How do you write William so well?
So Williams.
Reason and accountability.
The voice of reason.
Let's start with one very simple acknowledgement right up front, and that is narcissists are pretty impressed with themselves. In fact, so much so that they feel like they get to write the rule book. They get to decide how life is supposed to play out. Now, here's one of the crazy, maddening things about that, though, and that is when they remind you about how everything is supposed to go, they don't necessarily read that rule book as it applies to themselves. So in other words, they'll establish standards for you that they themselves don't live up to. That's the double standard that we're looking at. And I want to see if we can kind of look into this and figure out what we're going to do when that is a very common kind of thing. I mean, a real simple thing is, let's suppose you have one member of a family who is extremely loose and free with the way they spend money on themselves, but then that same person can micromanage everybody else. It's like, I get to do it, but I've got a whole different standard for you. Or it may be that whenever there's some sort of event that goes on, well, we'll do things my way, but then and I want you to compromise and come over here towards me. But then when it comes time for them to compromise and go along with some of your plans or preferences, it's like, no, we don't do that. Double standard. So I've listed out 10 of the most common double standards that I see, and I'm going to go through these, and I want you to see how common these might be in your relationships, and we're going to figure out how we might want to respond to something like that. For example, double standard number one, and this is absolutely no shock to anybody, and that is the narcissist can say, my opinions are of extreme importance. Your opinions don't matter. So in other words, you can't have opinions. I, of course, can have opinions, and in fact, I'm sure everybody wants to know mine, and so there's that inequity that's just a part of the relationship. Or a second double standard, and that is, I get to criticize you whenever I want. The double standard is, you'd better not criticize me at all. And so this speaks to their attitude of superiority, and just this sense that says, I'm so much better than you, so if I find fault in you, then you need to hear it. And of course, in their arrogance, it's like, I don't have any particular discernible faults, and even if I do, and if you try to point it out, you're probably wrong about it anyway, so you'd better not say a word that's critical about me. That's crazy making, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Or double standard number 3, and that is, you have to stay accountable to me. I don't have to stay accountable to you. Ooh. And this can play out in so many different ways, whether it's in time management or how you manage your connections with each other. For example, if the narcissist sends a text message to you, then the rule is you're supposed to get back in a prompt sort of way. Now, quickly. If you send a text message to them, and if they don't feel like responding, they don't have to. I don't need to be accountable to you. Or they want to know where you're going to be and who you're going to be with and what kind of activities you've got. But then in reverse, it's like, I'm not telling you what I have going on with my day. I don't need to. And so there's that almost a parent-child kind of a thing, although I'd hate to even have to do that with a child. By the way, one of the things that's very common with narcissists is they like to keep secrets, and this is part of it, the lack of accountability. Or a fourth double standard that's quite common, and that is, I can yell and curse at you. You'd better not yell and curse right back at me. Now, this speaks to their levels of anger and how they manage anger. And so if they want to have this real strong, aggressive form of anger, and they're going to put you in your place, well, they feel like it's justified to do that. And if they have to belittle you, then that's just part of their gig. Now, if you get angry towards them, you'd better not come to me with that aggression, because you haven't earned the right to do that, so to speak. I have the right, but you don't. And it's the illogic of that is just so glaringly obvious, and yet to them it just makes perfect sense. Or a fifth double standard, and that is, it's desirable to invest time in my people. It's not desirable to invest time in your people. Now, this can be their own friends or their families, members or business associates. It's like, yeah, we need to spend a lot of time with them because I have a lot of things that I'm trying to accomplish there. But if you say, well, I have some folks that I'm interested in, the narcissist can come and say, as far as I'm concerned, they don't exist, at least not in my world. We're not going to.
Listen, not everybody has NPD. Okay? Yes, but many of us are racked with several narcissistic traits. We got to be honest with ourselves. We want the expectations of each other to be bidirectional. What applies to me applies to you. What applies to you applies to me. What you want me to do, right? I'll do, but it also has to apply to you. You have to do it for me as well. So many people don't like playing that game. Again, relationships is really a convenience store where they go to get their interpersonal supply. People think that supply is exclusive to narcissists. No, it's exclusive to hurt people. Do you hear me? It's exclusive to hurt people. You don't have to be you don't have to be a narcissist or right or have NPD to be in a relationship where you might be giving less than what is being given to you. It just might be unconscious to you. Or the reverse, where you're giving more than what is being given to you. What I tend to see is that people are bean counters. They are relationship accountants, relationship CPAs when it comes to what they give. Right? Not so much. Right? Right? Let me just say, when I'm giving you something, it means something to me because I gave it to you. When you give something to me, I get to critique it and compare it to the value and the thought of what I gave to you. They turn into these relationship CPAs. Well, now everything is under evaluation and comparison. It's ugly. Somebody said the relationship abacus side of the game. Absolutely. You initiate all of or most of the contact. Let me explain something. Being an anxious preoccupied, I know what that looks like. Initiating, right, contact to want to talk to folk. But let me tell you something. APs attract avoidant styles. And when you reach out and try to contact them, they get smothered. So as a healing AP, anxious preoccupied attachment style, I learned pull back. When you pull back from even avoidant types, they will hit you with the I initiate most of the contact. That's because contact and closeness brings out a type of spiritual and interpersonal claustrophobia in you. So you need to reach out to, come on now. Come on. They say the other person dominates the conversation in a one-sided relationship. Maybe the person that's listening ain't got too much to say. These are not good examples. You apologize for things even when it isn't your fault. That's you trying to hold on to something even if it's toxic. We got to stop putting that on the person. Right? Are you in a one-sided relationship? Dr. C broke it down from the narcissistic perspective. Not everybody is narcissistic, or not everybody has NPD, narcissistic personality disorder. But some of the characteristics that he outlined, don't act like many of us have not experienced that. Let me get my niece back in here. Attila from Houston, Texas. I want you to give me your final thought. I know in that early part of this framing, it was done to trigger. So I know some of what I said was triggering. Go ahead, Attila.
Well, what happened?
Oh, so
I
it
wasn't triggered?
good. You wasn't triggered. Great. So you were
No.
no. You were
I've been working with you for months, years.
Now you've been saying, like before we came forward, you were saying something that was very important, and I wanted you to get back to it. What was the thought on it?
I think I remember saying something about wants versus needs.
Yes.
More so in regards to when you're kind of, as an anxious person, tabulating in your mind what it is that you're not being given. And part of that is based on the fact that you have made some of your wants into needs. And you don't have the awareness to understand that a lot of the things you're asking for, you need to give yourself. But something else I wanted to touch on, that previous clip with Tynesha, when she was talking about the man desiring women and them having these certain standards that he felt like he couldn't reach. I mean, to me, that's like a ding-dong. Like, sir, go back to the drawing board. Like, my thing is this. You cannot make someone want you, and that is perfectly fine. That's actually a protection mechanism for you and them. They have a right to say yea or nay, regardless of whether or not you think their standards are absurd or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
The other side of it, though, is when you're not really, how do I say, when you're not necessarily aware of how you fit in the framing of how society has decided that we need to be, look, and where you stand in relation to that, right? Like, you will kind of find yourself in situations where you're dating outside of your, what would be the word, maybe spiritual pedigree? I don't know.
Ooh, like, can you do that?
That's going to happen. I do, because I feel like, again, you have to think about it, like, if I were somebody that was blind, and I'm used to having people direct me around town, and now maybe I don't have that same level of help, I'm going to be going everywhere to try and find a place that's solid, right? And I think we do our dating in that way sometimes too, where we think that we're going to find a solid place to land based on what we feel like we deserve, not who we are.
So wait, I got to ask you this question. I got to ask you this question because of what you just said. I want to get your answer for this question right here. True or false? Your standards for others, when you are unhealed, are indicative of past failures to meet your own needs. True or false?
I would say true. It's been true in my life, for sure.
Really? Well, why is it true? Sure. Tell me.
Well, so it was a big part of the reason why I wrote that part was because I was at that moment reflecting of moments where I wanted to be seen by a partner, a person, a parent, a family member, and it was like a revelation. Like, you don't necessarily need them to see you; you need to see you. So a lot of the things that I was heard about or had wounds behind are things that I actually just needed to work out on my own. And so any list or any sort of standards that I would have created at that time when I was unhealed would have been more based on the wounds that I had at the time, the traumas I was dealing with, and not with where I'm at now. Like where I feel like I'm at now, I really don't care about a list. Like, a list is the last thing on my mind.
Right.
But I think back then, the reason why I felt like I needed a list is because I didn't really have the grounding. When you don't have the self-awareness, you need a template. I don't need a template now. I am the template.
Come on, Leroy. I see the glow, the yellow glow. Come on. Let me ask you this then. Oh, because this is so good. This is rich. I love it. So, would you say, right? Well, let me ask you this. First, are you open to being a little transparent tonight?
Oh, hell.
Yeah, oh, hell. Yeah, oh, hell.
When I meet you, I'm going to apologize. I can't write no check, but I'm going to say I'm sorry.
Oh, hell. So,
go ahead.
Have you been the architect of a one-sided relationship that was designed to protect what you have, what you haven't addressed in within yourself. Like you wanted the relationship, but you created a framework through expectations, through standards, and should I, and we say another bastardized word here, through boundaries that was really self-serving. Did you do that?
Multiple times.
Wow.
It wasn't just one time.
Multiple times. I'm guilty.
Yes. I mean, it's the truth. Like, okay, to me, avoidance is a framework, right? Like, anxiety, anxious, preoccupied is a framework. It's a framework of your conditioning. And I just so happen to have both of them.
Wow.
So, I think in regards to the most recent situation that you may be talking about, I was definitely creating a framework to protect a lot of the areas inside me that were vulnerable, broken, but also when you're over focused or hyper fixated on what someone else needs to do, then it kind of gives me an excuse to not work on myself. And so when that situation passed, it was like, oh, this is time to do some emotional spring cleaning. It's time for me to get in here and scrub a dub on the spiritual side of the game. Why? Because all the things that you've put off and decided not to do that are collecting dust in like a spiritual hoarding side of the game type thing, like you have to clean that up. I still have to go through and organize and break down the boxes. I think even Krishnamurti has a message that it says like you still have to clean your kitchen. So that's kind of how I look at like the emotional health of my life. Like, in the moments where I'm trying to get other people to do stuff, my emotional health's not too good. I have to take care of me,
Let me just say, here's the virtual hug for my niece, calling in, being so transparent. Here's the virtual hug from your uncle. We appreciate it. Guess what you just did? Houston, Texas is on the board. Listen, if you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. When we come forward, we going to the A, Atlanta, Georgia.
Got you confused? Need some straight talk?
Hey, Attila. Attila.
Relationships, everything in between. He breaks down relationship dynamics with nuances, wisdom, and practical advice that actually works. Tackling the questions you're afraid to ask and giving you the answers you need to hear. You're inside the voice of reason with Phil Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
That was great work. That was great work. Say thank you to Lloyd Hinton for the Cash App. We got one Cash App and we got one Super Chat, and we're an hour and 30 minutes into this show. This show is dependent. This platform is dependent on your support. Brother, hey, what up, Philip Brown? If you guys appreciate the content, if you appreciate the time, energy, and effort that we put into these shows, please show your support. It's as simple as hitting a like button, a share button, a super chat, which is the $ down at the bottom of the chat, or a Cash App. And we know it's towards the end of the month, and money is probably tight for a lot of y'all. That's why we ask for a minimal amount, an amount that maybe it's all you got. And definitely don't want you to send that in, but it's a small amount, $2 to $5. We call it twos and fews. So if you got it to give, listen, that's the key. If you got it to give, please support, support, support. We appreciate everybody who has done it. Hopefully, this has been a beneficial show. Hopefully, you're learning something from it. And I think it's important that we create a space here to learn ourselves a little better. I'm framing it in different ways, but it's all coming back to some universal truths about, self-confrontation, right? Every now and again, I'll go off on a tangent and do like these really spiritual topics, and that's designed to get you outside of the known. Self-confrontation, right? That's a key to self-actualization. That's a key to the cultivation of self-knowledge. You got to get in there and get your hands into that black oil, right? That black oil that is the shadow. You got to get your hands in there. You got to get your elbows in there. You got to get your shoulders into that, right? And you got to excavate it. Suge Mac 510, thank you for the support, brother. You got us to $7 on the super chat. Confrontation with love and no judgment. Absolutely, John Gilbreth. La Brea Tar Pit side of the game. I was just over there the other day. Growing up in LA, man, like the La Brea Tar Pits used to be like a school field trip. And I remember riding the school bus from Pasadena all the way to mid-city LA. It seemed like it took forever. You leave the school at 7 in the morning. You don't get there till 12. Like, the fuck? Corey, thank you.
I think it's important for us to stand on our standards. As well as 10 toes stand on those standards. The issue that comes into play is when you feel like your standard is gold and law and gives you space to belittle other people or talk down to other people.
My.
You can say, I love such and such without even mentioning anything else. You can say, I'm for such and such without even mentioning the other side of it. Have your standards, stand on them, have your preferences. Make sure your standards lead with something that's important and not the shallow. Oh, he got to be 6'3". Oh, he got to be this. Or he got to be that. Make sure he believe in God. Make sure he comes from a solid foundation as far as family. Make sure he has a career, or he's good at communicating. He's good at listening and receiving messages. You feel me? Like make sure your standards that you standing on they worth something. Because a lot of times
Andy, bring it back. Run it back. Bring that beat back. Bring that beat back. Y'all want to hear that beat again, right?
To stand on our standards. As well as 10 toes stand on those standards. The issue that comes into play is when you feel like your standard is gold and law and gives you space to belittle other people or talk down to other people. It don't. You can say, I love such and such without even mentioning anything else. You can say, I'm for such and such without even mentioning the other side of it. Have your standards, stand on them, have your preferences. Make sure your standards lead with something that's important and not the shallow. Oh, he got to be 6'3". Oh, he got to be this. Or he got to be that. Make sure he believe in God. Make sure he comes from a solid foundation as far as family. Make sure he has a career, or he's good at communicating. He's good at listening and receiving messages. You feel?
Listen, making sure somebody believes in God is a hard thing to prove. Because as we saw in the movie Sinners, and I know it's fictional, even the vampire knew the Bible. Just because somebody recite a scripture doesn't mean they are in alignment with God. Make sure he believe in God. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten, that whosoever, anybody, we know the words. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy king. Everybody know how to recite something. Remember that little short prayer we used to recite at dinner time? Jesus wept. My mom would say, just say anything to pray over the food. I would be the one. Jesus wept. Okay, cool. We can. Do you see what I'm saying? Anybody can recite something. How do you make sure that they believe in God? Not based off of what they say. It's based on what they embody. That's beyond behavior. Embodiment is beyond behavior. There's resonance in it. Have you ever met somebody, they walk in the room and they change the atmosphere through presence alone? That's what we're looking for. Make sure they believe in God. Not make sure that, man, do you know how many Bible study certificates I won as a child? The memorization game was cold. Listen, to what extent might the strict standards you set for others be a projection of your own unresolved needs? And how can acknowledging this reshape your personal inner work? How can we empirically measure the imbalance in relational power when one partner's external expectations mask their internal dissonance? True or false? Imposing high standards on others when you have not addressed your own inner conflicts is analogous to prescribing a nutritional plan for someone while neglecting your own diet. In what ways do cultural and spiritual narratives contribute to the creation of a bidirectional standard system within intimate relationships? How might attachment theory explain the emergence of non-negotiables in our expectation of others while our self-standards remain fluid or absent? How you got self-standards that are fluid or even absent, but you got non-negotiables? Cognitive dissonance. When I come forward, I promise we go into the A. I did. Big Mama love me though, man. Hey, if it wasn't for Big Mama, man, I wouldn't even be here. When I tell you my mother kept me in this, I went to a couple of private schools for like Christian private schools. Let me tell you, man, my motherfucking Bible memorization game was crazy. I remember we moved from Altadena to Pasadena. And we moved the night that I was in the Christmas play. Y'all want to guess what role I played in the Christmas play? It was third grade. I was 8 years old. Y'all, ooh, y'all want to guess? Truemonger said Jesus. That was been a big ass 3-year-old nigga, Jesus. A big ass baby. No, Nzinga got it right off rip. I was one of the wise men. Come on, man. God been with me this whole time. Nzinga got it right. Lloyd Hinton got it right. I was one of the wise men. And here's the cold part. I rehearsed for that. My teacher, her name was Miss Gary. Mrs. Gary. I love Mrs. Gary so much, man. When I was at that school, I was literally at the school with 2 of my cousins that I did not know were family, and they didn't know. Somebody said, Joseph is stupid. They didn't know I was family either. Man, I rehearsed hard, like I was dedicated. Man, my mom called and said, you can't do the play tonight because we moving. I said, what that got to do with me? Let me do the play and y'all come pick me up once we all moved. Nah, you got to help us. What? I was so goddamn mad because I practiced my little role. They had a little beard for me and everything. They had the little cape, the little shawl situation, nigga. I came in like, leave us. Take us to the young Lord. Nigga, I had my shit down. I was mad as hell. My brother came and got me. Can't argue with that nigga. Come on, man. Let's go. I had the staff. I had the whole shit. Nigga, hey man. That's the moment. Well, fuck it then was born. That's when I was like, oh, okay, well, fuck it then. All right. I remember that shit. That was great. John Johnson, what up, what up, what up, what up? I had it all, boy. They had like little props with the jewels and the gifts and shit in it. It was dope. And of course, the props were created by me and the classmates. The teacher, she was teaching us, telling us what to do, man. I was pissed that day. What up, Empress? Hey, I want to thank everybody that hit that super chat. Thank you for showing your love. We're up to $16.99. Wait, Nzinga, what happened? What am I missing? Wait, what happened? What did I miss? Oh, we got some weird niggas. Oh, okay, yeah, we got weird niggas in here. Thank you. Thank you, Nzinga. Get them the fuck up on out of here. Get them up out of here. Nzinga ain't playing. I respect it and I appreciate it. Get them goofies out of here. King Joseph said, any Jesus juice? No Jesus juice. Nah, that Christian school that I went to was literally in a church. It is dangerous, wild as fuck. But it was literally in a church, and nigga, that's when we had like we had a weird ass chef who would cook vegan food before it was cool. Oh, damn. Thank you, Sugar Crisp. Damn it. I was in here having a moment. Thank you, Sugar Crisp. Damn. Thank you.
You don't have to say it. I'll say it for you, okay? Who does she think she is that she can coin a term? Well, let me remind you, Mel Robbins, she has her own theory. Gaslighting was coined from a play/movie, and here I am introducing self-caging. So let me tell you what it is. Self-caging is intentional, deliberate, and is rooted in the way that we have gotten so smart about our pain. It's when you weaponize your experience, not necessarily to hurt others, but to protect yourself from the uncomfortable reality that you have more power than you think.
You've gotten smart about your pain. You've learned how to articulate your struggle so well that it sounds like wisdom, when really it's just justification for staying stuck. You know how to make your limitations sound like self-protection and even sometimes growth. But that's just another way to cling to your comfort zone. And let's not act like it's not deliberate, because it is. It's not about blaming others or saying you don't deserve to feel what you feel. It's about recognizing that deep down, you know better. You know that feelings are not facts. You know that nobody is coming to save you. You know that your life is your responsibility, no matter how fair it's been. But rather than facing that reality, you hide behind the story that makes you feel safe. And that's why I say that self-caging is intentional, because you know better, but you choose not to do better. It's a way of holding on to pain because it feels predictable, even if it's suffocating. Here's a question for you. Am I rejecting anything that forces me to face the reality that I can actually be stronger than I'm letting myself be? That's the question.
I don't want to be accountable for that much power. Oh, Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility, Peter. I don't want to be Peter Parker. I don't want to be Spider-Man, right? Yeah. So what you do is you weaponize your boundaries. You weaponize your expectations. They become the messiah of your future relationships. If you would but adhere to my boundaries, my expectations, right? Then you are the chosen one in my life. Oh, this is terrible work, but a lot of people are doing it. Do you agree or disagree? The boundaries you set for your partner serve as a mirror to your own hidden vulnerabilities and unhealed wounds? How can the interplay between ego, shame, and guilt transform the nature of the standards you impose on others versus those you hold for yourself? What does it mean when clinical psychology meets metaphysics in asking, are your expectations for others a form of self-exile from your own internal responsibility? It's hella quiet, ain't it? We need some crickets. Do we got crickets? It's hella quiet, ain't it? It's a lot of people out here swear they know what they doing in relationship. No, you know what you're doing to people in relationships. But you take it as, I just know what I'm doing. You're a maneuverer. You're a manipulator. And it's all self-serving. Every relationship you've ever been in since you were hurt as a child became a one-sided relationship where you are on the top. And you call yourself a good person. Mac from Atlanta, it's your time to shine. Let's talk about it. Hey, Mac. Hey, no profanity, but yo, you new to the show. Hey, man, you brought the A in the building, man. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Well, I look at relationships, I look at it as a lack of value, of true value for something that works. And then a lack of welfare. You don't care about the people, you care about the things. So it's not, you don't care about the welfare and the safety of the people. And then it's maturity, immaturity.
Huh.
And I can break it down.
Please. Wait a minute. Is this my brother? Suge Mac 5'10" from Oakland back down to the A?
Nah, this C-Mac, man.
Okay.
Lobster and shrimp from Ohio.
Okay, I got you. Come on, keep cooking, brother. Let's go.
All right. Well, the value is this, It's like the value for what works based on what you want. It's like I already did a scenario. It's like the car that starts up every day. As it becomes old, it's just old. Its value is not the same value to a lot of people. They just looked at, that old car, but it's doing everything it needs to do. But you still trade it in for that new car. You see, then you get that new car, and it's giving you all kind of problems. You say, damn,
I should just kept my old car.
How about it?
The old car did everything you wanted it to do.
How about it?
It wasn't good enough after a while.
Come on, from A to B, got me from A to B.
You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people on this phone fumbled a good person, and they thinking back like, wow, I let that go.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you messed it up. So it ain't like people ain't had that person. It's just that they didn't have everything they wanted, or it got old.
This is
now I'm
good.
gonna break down the welfare. It's like, do you really care about the people or the things that you can get from being with the people? Because if you really care about the people, you have an organic, genuine feeling about them, and you want them to be building too. You want them to be getting the things they want. So that comes with compromise. That comes with maturity. Like, okay, I might have to lose certain things just to get what I really want from the situation. Instead of, I want everything I dream of from the situation. It's just not real.
I see you. But let me tell you something, brother. Let me tell you something right now. You done pulled out the Emerald Lagasse special seasoning. You got the high-end truffle oil. You understand? You got the Trinity, which is onions, bell peppers, and what else? The onions, bell peppers, and y'all. No. Trinity, onions, bell peppers, and carrots. Come on. You in here with the Trinity right now. You cooking that good. Listen, hold tight. Don't go nowhere. When we come forward, man, I'm going to let this brother Mac finish up this meal, man. Or some people say celery. I think it's celery. Thank you, John. I pulled it back. Gumbo with that old bag. Sugar Crisp. Thank you. Hey, can I say it? Sugar Crisp. I'm going to say it anyway. Fuck it. Sugar Crisp is coming to the show at the Miracle Theater. I'm going to make sure Sugar Crisp is taken care of. She bought her ticket, and she's coming to the theater. Sugar Crisp is my people's. Been rocking with me for years upon years upon years. This is going to be my first time seeing Sugar Crisp. I'm going to make sure everybody treat her with the utmost respect and care. This my folk. You understand me? Sugar Crisp is my folk. Cali Soul's gonna be there. We got a few people. I know you. I'm sorry. I just had to say it. I asked for permission. I didn't get it. Miss JB's gonna be there. It's gonna be lit. And I'm just really excited. She's one of the most genuine people I've ever met, so. Be mad at me, Sugar Crisp. I love you, though. I'm sorry. Sugar Crisp, did you see that post on my Instagram? The young lion, New Geezy, had a workout with the Lakers today. My son fuck around and go to the Lakers? I'ma act a complete fool. I just told him to keep a level head, go in there, play well, you know, do what you gotta do. Yes. Sugar Crisp.
KBLA's Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, and the alpha male of comedy, Ray Grady. We're going to transform relationship disasters into stand-up material live at Inglewood's Miracle Theater on May 31st at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. My clinical team will disclose all of your dating woes, while the alpha male of comedy, Ray Grady, has hand-selected, supremely talented
romantic comedians to roast all of our tragic relationship choices. I dare you to bring your ex's phone number because Ray, he's going to text it live and the crowd will be sourcing emojis. Tickets are moving swiftly, so don't hesitate to grab yours at themiracleinglewood.com before I diagnose your dating history as a pre-existing condition.
Say to yourself at the end of these talks and question and answers, I haven't changed. Why have I not changed? It's your fault. You have spoken for so many 60 years perhaps, and I have not changed. Is it the fault of the speaker, or you have not been able to apply it? And so, if you don't apply that treatment, it's the fault of the speaker. Then you become cynical, and do all kinds of absurd things.
Man, Krishnamurti, he don't have a lot of time to be playing with people. This is why we affectionately refer to him as Krishnahurti, because he's going to hurt your ego's feelings. Why haven't you changed? If you haven't changed, is it the speaker's fault? Who is the speaker? Of course, he's referencing himself, but the speaker could be anybody in your life. Whoever created the mold, whatever mold you consciously chose to follow. Is it their fault you didn't change? No, it's your fault you didn't change. Oh, but you spend the majority of your life creating systems of manipulation to keep people close and yet at bay. You want your relationships to reflect what is happening within inside of you, which is cognitive dissonance. You want closeness without commitment. You want fun and stimulation without hurt and pain, and it all comes together. You don't want individuation. You'd rather have manipulation of others. Maintaining yourself while extrapolating the spiritual fuel out of another. This is what relationships has become. And I stand corrected. The Trinity is onions, bell peppers, and celery. Okay? Let me get it right. Celery. Now, let me get Mac back on the line real quick to get his final thoughts here. Mac, please give me your final thought on what you were expounding on.
My final thought is this: as far as the maturity level, when we're attracted to, we want certain things from a person, but we got to realize what we are attracted to. You know, women, men, we ain't attracted to money. So when somebody got all kind of money, yeah, they can get stuff for you, but are you attracted to that? You're attracted to that type of person. And people don't even know what type of person they really attracted to. They're not being true to themselves. You know.
I love it, brother. I love it. Thank you, man. Thank you. And listen, you got a seat at the table of the voice of reason now. All right? We got a few people in Atlanta that call in all the time, man. I expect to hear from you more often, okay?
Oh, no problem. It's all good.
Hey, brother, thank you for bringing the A in the building. Let me get on back to La Lizzie. Los Angeles in the house. You already know who it is. Legendary J.W. from South Central Los Angeles. Talk to me.
Hey,
Hey, how you doing, brother? Yeah, that brother, he pretty much said everything that I had in mind in reference to, true worth, true value, um, compared to something superficial. I can recall when a body was attractive to me, or a pretty face, and that was a value or worth of something that was satisfying. But you got to be deeper in that, and I like to reference some of the quotes you were saying in reference to the philosophers, and which is being connected. I just like to prefer to use the scripture and say be connected to the vine.
Man, the scripture is welcome here, brother. It's welcome here.
I know, bro. I know that. I just is how I happen to phrase it. Trust me, I respect how you get down there. I love how you compare all the various religions and philosophers and science and combine it together to become with truth and knowledge. Knowledge is power.
Man, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, man.
I'm gonna let you go, man. I'm gonna get off the phone now.
Hey, I love you, JW. I love you, brother. But hey, sometimes you gotta talk longer so we can play your theme song. JW from South Central Los Angeles. You're the next contestant on the VOR. Come on down. Hey. Hey, man, we love you, brother. We love you. Thank you for bringing.
I love y'all back, man. I'm gonna try my best to get there to the show.
All right, brother. I hope to see you, my friend.
All right, take care.
Man, I love JW, man. That's a good brother. He got a good spirit, man. Really good spirit. Love the fact that he's been calling in from day one. From day one. We're in year 3 right now. Let's get deeper. The hypocrisy of demanding standards from a partner while evading personal accountability reverberates as one of the most dissonant and self-defeating paradoxes within human interaction. Cognitive dissonance, the mental discomfort arising from holding conflicting beliefs or attitudes, manifests powerfully when one expects a partner to embody qualities and behaviors that remain absent from one's own repertoire, right? Whether it's emotional repertoire, or i.e. emotional intelligence, whether it's communicative repertoire, i.e. Collaborative and cooperative communication, nonviolent communication, as opposed to avoidant or competitive or combative. And competitive communication isn't always that bad. But to expect somebody to be something that you're not, and to present yourself as if you are that, right? Let me explain something. There's a Sanskrit term that you guys know. I like pulling out a term here or there. Let's see. I want you guys to hear this. There's a term for this. Tat them asi. Tat them asi. That is the Sanskrit term for I am that. Thou art that. Tat them asi. In Sanskrit, it's a mantra, right, from the Advaita tradition, typically translated as I am that, or thou art that. It is one of the 4 principles of Mahavakyas, or great sayings from the ancient Hindu text known as the Upanishads. It represents a state of consciousness, no different from the book of Exodus 3:14. Tell them I am sent you. See, what you fail to realize is there's a through line of truth in every belief system. At a higher level of conscious, you become that. What? I am. You become I am. That's what self-realization, self-actualization is. Any level of consciousness that is below that can suffer with it's somebody else's fault. See, when you so caught up on your identity, you fail to realize you set yourself up into codependency. Because you can't do it by yourself as a single ego, as a single identity. Do you see? You raise up the level of consciousness. You are that. I am that. Do you see? Codependency comes in when there's a lack of self-love. I am that is love. Do you see? And if you can't love you, all you have are empty, one-sided demands for others. The discrepancy between internal self-development and external expectation not only undermines genuine connection, but also sets the stage for perpetual relationship sabotage. At its core, expecting your partner to attain or emulate traits that you yourself have not cultivated erects a fortress of hypocrisy within your spirit. This fortress is built from layers of unaddressed insecurities, unresolved past wounds, and blatant refusals to engage in self-introspection. Listen, I get turned up. I like to start the conversation, but it's really up to you to finish it. I'm the voice of reason. I try to be reasonable. Listen, I want you guys to finish tonight's conversation. Maybe you guys can break bread over a meal. Andy is like, they ain't gonna do it. Listen, when we come forward, it'll be tomorrow, but tomorrow is my Friday. But you know what my Saturday is about. Come support Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, KBLA's own. Come down to the Miracle Theater, themiracleinglewood.com. Purchase your tickets. I'll see y'all on Saturday and tomorrow. Yo, 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 yo. Love y'all. Peace out. I'ma holla at y'all. Deuces.